Welcome to the Rural Way podcast, practical business and leadership conversations for small town living. I'm your host, Tracy Parker, and this is where we get to dig into working hard, showing up, and chasing big dreams from farmyards and small towns. So if you're building a business and a life where the pace is slower, you already know things are different. We don't have the same resources, margins, or risks, and this podcast is where we close that gap. We talk strategy that works, living a lifestyle we love, and staying true to our roots. So if you're ready, let's get at it. Welcome to another episode of The Rural Way. I'm your host, Tracy Parker, and this is the start of a real quick series I'm calling the Seeding Series, and I'm going to do agriculture series focused episodes. And the reason I wanted to do this is I wanted short little episodes that we could discuss different things that show up in each of the seasons. And so the first episode here, I'm talking about your production plan. And the reason I wanted to do this is because I know that as soon as I bring this up, I'm going to have most of the farmers say, I have one in my head, because that's usually where they are. And yes, you do. You know exactly what quarters are going to be done and what quarters are going to be seeded and what. And that's all great until something happens. Now, I've worked with farm bit mediation for 23 years, and I sit with many farm families where things didn't go as planned, where somebody got sick, or there was an accident, or there was an interruption to the production as was scheduled. And so what I'm suggesting, or what I would like to introduce for consideration, is the idea of a production plan that helps you to use it as a communication tool, so that if you fell off the back of the semi and broke your leg and needed surgery, that there was not a gap in what you were doing and who could come and say, like, what were we doing next? There is a production plan in place. It is not a fancy thing. We're not talking about, expensive spreadsheets and some big production thing. It is just the simple component of having all of your quarters and land outlined. What is going to be seeded? What is the date it already was seeded? What's the day it was sprayed? And have that on paper. Now, we're going to talk in the next episode a little bit more about the mental load that we carry as farmers. But what I want to have you consider is that when you write it on paper, it doesn't have to stay here. And I know that that's how you've always done it, and it has probably worked just fine. But what I would like to suggest, I know farmers don't like that, is the idea that if you were to change this and use this as a plan and use this as a communication tool with you and any hired men you have, or your spouse, your children, everybody's on the same page. It gets easy buy-in. It's an easy way to communicate. It's all on paper. And what it does do is it helps you to mitigate the risk if something were to happen, because you don't have the luxury of being sick in the hospital for 2 weeks. You don't have the luxury of having leg surgery and not have somebody continue on with the operation at home. And what I've seen is time and time again, without a plan, there's issues. Mistakes are made, decisions are overwhelmed, things just don't unfold as they're supposed to. So I would rather you take a moment and have a plan on paper and have your production plan and never need that backup than for you to have something happen and not have it in place. So what it does is it mitigates risk. It's used as a good communication tool, gets everybody on the same page and buy-in. And it also relieves your mental load, because you know damn well that you're not going to remember exactly what day you seeded it. You're not going to remember exactly what day you sprayed. And the person with the best documentation will always have better luck in insurance and just basic farm management practices. So I've suggested this to a number of farmers along the way, especially when I come to them in the mediation process. And most farmers think I'm crazy, but the best farmers, the big farmers,
do this because they have to. So why wait till you're a size where you're forced to do it? Do it as a good management practice tool. And I promise you that at the end of the day, when your season is done and you look back at your production plan and you have exact record of what you seeded, when you seeded it, the day you sprayed, the day you did anything else in the field, the day you checked it for flea beetles, whatever you're doing, if you have that record at the end of the year, I bet money there's not one of you that would say this was a waste of time. You would look back and say, oh, I didn't realize that we had, a week gap in here. Or I didn't realize that this is the day we started or finished. The mental load, you have a million things on the go. The last thing your brain is going to remember is all the tiny details that are very meaningful at the end of the season. And if you've been checking for things and there's something that happens and you need a crop insurance claim, your documentation is going to support your claim every time. So I don't want to make this a long one and I don't want to preach, but I do want to have you consider that a production plan, an easy to use production plan, can mitigate your risk and really help you, especially in a year where something goes sideways. Because you don't want to have the luck of chance or have somebody else come in and help you out if there's a crisis and not have a way to communicate what the plan is. Because the reality is that accidents happen all the time. And it doesn't have to be a huge catastrophic thing for you to need to be able to communicate that plan. So consider it. Don't make it fancy. Don't overcomplicate it. Just have something written down because the last place we want it is in your noggin and not shared with anybody. Because in a high risk or in an emergency situation, that's not where we want it. We want it on paper. So just for consideration, if you're a wife and you've seen this and you've been like, I wish that we had this because it would make my life easier to know what quarter we're going to next and where we are at and what everything is going to be seated in, show this to your husband. Say, see, she even says that's the way to do it. But that's it for today. That's a real quick first seeding series video. And in the next one, we're going to talk about the mental load and staying healthy and well during the seeding season. So we'll see you in the next episode.